Well, welcome to Matt's Rocks. Today I'm going to be doing these two samples. These are real thin cut samples that I made. I'm going to take the outside of it off enough to where it's smooth on the steel discs, and then the rest of it I'm going to take to the 280 grit. And then I got this other one. It's a little bit thicker than that one. This one's 1/8 of an inch. This one's probably just a little bit less. Let me show them on this other camera real quick, just so I can get some light behind it. This one doesn't look like it's going to have a whole lot of lines in it. I cut them thin just to see if I could find any iris in them on the fortification lines. This one may have some. I don't know. It usually shows up better after it's polished, and it has to be pretty thin. And this way I'll be able to tell. But one of them I'm going to make a chain pull for with my lights in here. I got one that up here that's just got a bass hanging from it. And since I ain't fishing anymore, I'll take it down and put up probably this one, just because it's a little thicker and I don't want to break it when I'm pulling on it. I usually reach up and grab the chain rather than the chain pull anyway, just because they're rocks. And I don't want to break them. I spent a lot of time working on them. I've got 2 Brazilian agates, a piece of dark brown jasper, and a piece of snakeskin agate, I think. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started, and I'll bring you back in before I go to the next wheel, probably. We'll see what I'm going to record it all, just so if I lose anything, and and I'm getting better on my CapCut program too. I think I've got it figured out. I'm not going to record in 4K anymore because it's too laggy on the editing program. When you try to play it through, it's basically all you're seeing. Well, yeah, the audio doesn't match up with the video. And but I figured out that if I did it the other way around and did it just on the 1080p, which is actually high definition, it's HD, it's just not as good as the other. So that's the way I'm gonna play it. Plus, the only time I'll probably use the HD or the 4K is when I'm out doing rock hounding videos, if I ever get a chance to do one. First, I got to save up enough money to go to do it, because I got to go quite a ways from here. Okay, now I'm ready to go to the 280 grit. Put up the sides on this one down where I want them. Still got a lot of pits in there, but I don't think it really matters much. Kind of gives you an idea what it looked like before. Got a little fracture coming in off this one side, but that's another reason why I'm going to use it as a chain pull. And then this one over here, I just kind of like the looks of the outside of that. Looks a little better when it's wet, but I'll have to wet it down here in a sec and show you. That yellow pops a little better. And I didn't want to get too close to this end. I think it was that one. Yeah. So I didn't want to lose that extra much of that other pocket. Now I've got a thin spot on it. It's right there, from there up is where I started the blade when I was cutting it. There we go. You can see that it cut a little deeper, just down to about there. So that end's going to be a little thinner. I thought about cutting it off, and actually, that's on both sides. Might be better off rounding that off, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to use, I don't imagine I'll be using this one as a chain pull, just because it's so thin. So it'll be basically just a sample. But I like the way the lines on the outside edge of it. Dark stuff, there's lines in it too. And there's quite a few lines in there, so. Okay, we're going to start on the 280 grit with the small one. That way, if I break it while I'm doing this, I shouldn't, because I'm not going to be holding it that tight, but it may come out of my hands a couple of times and hit the bottom of the tray, and there's that fracture there on that side. And another little fracture over here. I don't want them to come together in the middle, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, I'm back. I did, after working 2 hours on one side of this one, on the old, this is the old 280 wheel, I decided, and I still didn't have all the kerf marks off of it with this one after 2 hours. That was yesterday. I decided to go ahead and put on my new 280 grit just to get the rest of the kerf marks off, and it left some fairly deep scratches. I should have used for the little first part of it, I should have used an old piece of chert or something harder that I wasn't all that worried about. This one's going to be a little bit harder to get these scratches out of on the 400 or on the 600, but I think I'll be able to manage. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. And then the second, I went on ahead and did the second one. It come out a lot better. than the first one, because by the time I got the stuff out of the first side of this one, actually I took this one back to the old 280 to try to get the scratches from the new 280 out. But then I decided to go ahead and do 2 more samples, fairly thick samples. This one's lopsided, as you can see, and then this one here, it's pretty thick too, but it's flat all the way across. I'm going to go ahead and take all the skin off the outside of it and polish it all the way around and leave it flat on the sides and the tops and the bottom, and just make it a polished sample that you can just use as a paperweight. And but I'll do those on another video. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on these. I'm going to start on the thinner one first, because I still haven't been able to see if it's got any iris in it, but I don't think it's going to. I'm looking to see if it's got any shadow bands in it or any trying to remember the name. I know it, I just can't get it out of my head right now. It's in there, but it's just not coming back out. Parallax bands, that's what it is. It doesn't have any of those. I don't think this other one does either. They're not as well defined. It might have a little bit, and they might look better once they're polished too. I tried doing this sideways like this on this wheel, so I got a few places where there's scratches going across it that way. There's some here, but it's from these outside edges. I think once I'm done with this, I'll go ahead and swap that out anyway. I don't know. Just for some reason, it seems like it works. It's harder to do the bigger stuff because I can't keep it away from these outer edges, and those are what's leaving my scratches. Other than that first one, it was because I still hadn't broke all of the little filaments of rubber or plastic that were there sticking out from it. It's one of those deals where if you get your finger up close to it, it'll slap you with those things and it feels like it's cutting you. So here we go. This wheel doesn't have as big of a trough down the center where it goes back in like this a little bit. I guess I might need my rag. I'm trying to get some of those long ways scratches off of there first. Yeah, it's leaving a few spots. I guess it does have some humps on it. Either that or I held it sideways. Let's just go back to this direction. Just angle it off a little different direction. Lift off to the side just a little bit. It's easier to get scratches off if you can go across them. Like if they're going this way, it's easier to get them off if you go opposite the direction they're running, because sometimes it'll leave what you're cutting down in the groove of the scratch, and that'll just keep digging the scratch the same depth as it was to begin with when you get done. It's harder to get them off that way. Okay, I'm going to take this one. I took it to the flat lap yesterday, trying to get some of those deeper scratches out. And it just seemed to be the 270 grit is what I went for, trying to get the 280 grit scratches out from my new wheel that I put on, because it's throwing pretty heavy scratches on there. As you can see, still got scratches in this side of it. I didn't take them all off. Let's try it on this one. Okay, I got that off. But it's still fairly shiny. I don't have any deep scratches in it. Well, I got one that's coming across this way, but it's not too bad. But I'm going to take it to the 600 grit, get those scratches off of it, and then I'll go on. The other one I've got ready for the, I've already got it ready for the, it's ready to go to the 3000 grit. I had to take it to the flat lap too. It was too thin to try to work it any other way. But I like the, it's got no iris in it, but it does have a nice bands. I don't think, none of them are shadow bands, but it's got an awful lot of turtleback in it. All up on this side. This is a piece, this is a piece, turtleback all in here. It's a nice looking agate. I'm glad I cut that in thin like that. So now we'll see what I can get out of this one. So here we go. I'm going to start on this side that I got the bigger scratches in first. They're 270 grit scratches, so they should come out with the 600. But some of them seem a little big for the 270 grit even. And it was my old 270 grit because I didn't want to take the new one to it because it seemed to have bigger scratches in it. Okay, I'm back. Oh, and I just ate supper, so I got oil on my fingers. Picked up this rock and I got fingerprints immediately. Well, this one's ready to take to the aluminum or the 3000 grit. Both of these are ready to take to 3000 grit. I figured I'd just go ahead and do from the, I did the 280 earlier. There's the second one. And it's ready to go to the 3000 grit. Keep my fingers off the face. I'll show them on this other camera real quick. Got a few scratches still on this one. Actually, I think I probably got a few scratches on both of them. Actually, let's do it that way. I like these agates. I like all agates. Especially when they look like this one here. Well, I'm glad that's agate. And I'm glad I got a rubber floor. Because that one's real thin. As you could probably tell when it fell, you could probably hear the sound that it made. It almost sounded like metal. It'd be nice if it had iris in it, but it, oh, I had to say that, didn't I? I had to say it. I had to say it. Drop it the second time and that was it. It hit the aluminum leg on my tripod and that's what broke it. And it broke right on that fracture that was on there, so it's probably a good thing I didn't finish it to begin with. And that second one wasn't on a fracture, but this first one was. Yeah. Yep, well, guess you're only going to get one stone at the end of this video. I don't know what I'll do with these. I may just round off the broken sides so nobody gets cut and put them in some tumbled rocks or something. But that's what I get. Told you I got bad luck. It was so thin and I got grease on my fingers, so I didn't want to touch the face. I'd have been able to keep a better hold on it if I'd have touched the face. Okay, let's go ahead and start on this one. I'll pout while I'm finishing this. And I knocked this one into the both of them came off out of my fingers quite often when I was using the flat lap to try to get those new 280 grit scratches out of it. And I was worried about this one because it's got that fracture in it right down here. It looks more like a chip, but you can't see a line on the outside edge, and you can't really see a line on the on the face either, so it's more. Now you can see a line on the back side. You see a line right there. But that's the only place you see the line. The rest of it's healed. But here we go. Let's finish this up. And that won't be the first agate I've dropped and broke. First one was a Brazilian agate, but it was black and white, or black and clear and white. It had the black was like a ribbon that kind of, it was about that thick, and it was like a ribbon that kind of went around, kind of sort of in a spirally pattern, and it was flat, and you could see the layers of it and how it swirled around down in there. And then it had white fortification banding also. I should have washed my hands before I started this. Then I wouldn't have dropped it. Said I had bad luck. I didn't say it wasn't all my fault. I could glue that back together and use it as a chain pull. I think that's what I'll do, since that's such a clean fracture. And that way, if I break it when I'm pulling on the chain, I usually reach up and grab the chain, not the rocks themselves. I got five shop lights in here, and each one of them's got a stone on it, but the one that's got the bass on it, and that's the one I was going to put this one on. But I don't think I'll put this one on a chain. It was too good looking of an agate. I decided I'd wait. I didn't figure I was going to get all those scratches from that new 280 grit out of it. But now that I did, I think I like it better. And that little fracture in there is not really much of a deterrent. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I only got one to show you. But the other one didn't make it. And this one turned out pretty good. It's got a pit left in it and a scratch, a couple of scratches, small scratches. One of them's fairly long, but I couldn't get it out. I think it's kind of a separation in the fortification line, even though you can't see the fortification line. And there it is on the other camera. Well, I got it zoomed in too much. Oh, no wonder it's blurry. I'm looking over my glasses. Got a beautiful shine on it. And there's the other side. I like that. Fingerprints again. Figured I'd done washed my fingers a dozen times while I was doing this. And it's awful cloudy in the middle, so I don't like that much, but Not a whole lot you can do about it. But anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. This one will be up Friday next week, I think. Pretty sure it's Friday next week. I probably ought to stop doing this, telling you when it's going to be out, because there's never no telling when it's going to change. Although I've all the videos that I've got edited, I've got loaded. I've got 2, I think, maybe left to go. Because today's Saturday, yeah. I got 2 left to go, Sunday and Wednesday. So this one will be out Friday. And if I get this put back together and get it looking good enough to show you, I'll show you what it looks like after it's done. But it's just going to go on my light. Am I up high enough? There it is, way off. There it is. There's my fish. That's the one of the new breeds of bass. It's called the plastic bass. When I put these lights up, the chains were too short. As you can, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. There's another place where you hook it on at, just about 6 inches, 8 inches above maybe 10, above the ring that you put the fob on, or whatever your little doohickey you want to be the chain pull. And I needed, they weren't hanging down low enough for me to reach without getting onto a box or something. So I figured I needed to extend them, and that gave me a, hey, stop looking at my fish. I forgot I had that up there. But anyway, yeah, so I put them up there so I could reach it. And I didn't want to use good rocks like that one piece of jasper I got up there. It's a darker brown jasper with some lighter brown in it. I just made kind of a round, pointy looking cab, but when I drilled the hole, it cracked on me. It didn't crack all the way through, but it cracked on me, and that's what's got me used to not pulling them by the chain fob itself. I just reach up above it and grab the chain and pull on the chain. That way I don't bust any of them out, or I'd have to put another one up there. But if I'm going to do stuff like this, I should have all kinds of stuff later on to put up there. Anyway, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.